Where the Devil Can't Go, by Anya Lipska. Read by Michael Fenner.
The author begins with the following extract from a speech by General Jaruzelski, communist leader of Poland, made on December 13th, 1981.
Our homeland is on the verge of collapse. The atmosphere of conflicts, misunderstanding, hatred causes moral degradation, surpasses the limits of toleration. Strikes, the readiness to strike, actions of protest have become a norm of life. Citizens, I declare that today the Military Council of National Salvation has been formed. In accordance with the Constitution, the State Council has imposed martial law all over the country.
And an example of Solidarność graffiti during martial law in Poland, 1981 to 1983.
The winter is yours, but the summer will be ours. Prologue.
If I can just crawl to the bottom step, I might be able to reach the stair rail, pull myself up with my good arm. My legs are useless. The fall must have broken something in my back. I knew the risk. I knew when I told the boy who I was that he might kill me, but I had to do it. How else could I bring up the matter of our mutual friend? At first, he didn't believe me, didn't remember my face. I had to raise my voice then, remind him what had happened to him. Incredible that he should need reminding. That did the trick. Something in his eyes changed. I told him I regretted his sacrifice, tried to explain what a dangerous time it had been for the country. If we had lost our nerve, well, there would have been tanks on the streets again, and not our own ones this time. He didn't see it that way, so I ended up in a puddle of my own piss on the cellar floor. It was worth it. The boy read the document. He wants revenge, I saw it in his eyes, and that means I'll get mine. If I can just make it to the bottom step.
Chapter 1. Janusz slammed the younger man so hard against the flat's freshly painted plasterboard that he heard the fixings pop and twisted the neck of the guy's sweatshirt around his throat. "Honest to God, Janusz!" Another shove. "Sorry, Anya Kiszka! The contractor didn't pay me yet, but in 2 days I'm getting 1,000, I swear on the wounds of Christ!" As Janusz paused for breath, his free hand propped against the wall, he caught his reflection in the triple-glazed window next to Sławek's shoulder. It showed a big man in early middle age, wide-shouldered and lean, and with a strong jaw, yes, but with the unmistakable beginnings of a stoop and a scatter of grey in the thick dark hair. Naprawdę, he was getting too old for this kind of thing. Straightening his spine with caution, but keeping a grip on Sławek's collar, he scanned the room, a newly fitted luxury studio apartment in a tower block overlooking the moonscape of the Olympic construction site. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed the black skeleton of the half-built main stadium, which sat like a giant teacup, ringed by attending cranes 17 floors below. When the block was finished, the view would put an extra 40, maybe 50,000 on the fat price tag. Unbelievable. From what he'd seen of Stratford, and he saw far too much of it for his liking now so many Poles were working around the Olympic site, the place was a dump. After the Luftwaffe had flattened it, along with most of the East End, the town planners had decided to recreate the town centre as a poured concrete shopping mall on a giant 3-lane roundabout. It reminded him of the stuff the communists had crapped out all over Poland in the 50s and 60s. Sławek was 2 weeks late with payment, and as full of bullshit as ever. The power hammer Janusz had supplied over a month ago, still labelled property of the Department of Transport, stood propped against the cream-coloured bulk of an American-style Smeg. Janusz knew that the fancy fridge, along with the rest of the gleaming kitchen appliances, was missing the manufacturer's serial number because he had removed it himself with an angle grinder before delivery. "The quicker I finish this job, the quicker I get paid, and you get paid," said the young man, taking advantage of the pause in hostilities. Janusz had spent enough of his youth on building sites to see past the superficial gloss.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?